Mi gente, welcome back to the channel. I'm John, this is El Loco's Garage, and today we are back to working on the S4. So we got a couple of things to do. First thing we're gonna do is actually start off with a VCDS scan, and I'm gonna go through that. But before we even get started, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Definitely appreciate it, definitely helps out, but let's get started. Alright, so we're going to do an auto scan here, and I'm going to pull up your make and model, and let's go ahead and get started. So right now it's going to run through all the different modules, and we're going to see if there's any faults. Alright guys, so we finished our scan, and let's scroll up and see what we have. So just going through this here, no engine fault codes, ABS is right, and here's what I was looking for. So in our HVAC, we got one fault, and that's the temperature sensor in the fresh air duct, your G89. It says open or short to plus. So that fault is actually pretty interesting. It could, if you get that fault, it's usually that sensor that's actually in your, it's not your air box, where your cabin filter goes. There's a small sensor in there, and that actually works with your climate. So if your AC doesn't feel like it's being cold, especially on a hot day, if that sensor's not working properly, it's not going to cool properly. So rather than putting in a brand new AC compressor and going through all that and saying, well, maybe my AC system's all messed up, well, simple scan told me it's the sensor. So what we're doing today, I already got the sensor, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is the new sensor we got from FCP Euro. Shout out to FCP Euro. So this sensor, as with all their parts, has a lifetime warranty. There we go. So this is the one we're going to be swapping out today. Now we need to actually get back here and see what we got. So we're going to actually take all this, well, this side off at least, and get under there and see what we got. Alright guys, so got this portion of the cover off. If you haven't changed your cabin filter in a while, now would probably be a good time to do it. I changed mine not too long ago, so it's actually still pretty clean. And on top of that, I don't drive the car very much. As you can see, my cabin filter still looks brand new. So let's see if we can actually get in there and see where this sensor is. Alright guys, so there's a sensor sticking out right there, if you can see me pointing at it. That's the old one, the one that's bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually take off this piece right here. I believe it's only held in with a few screws. There's my light. So got the there's a sensor right there. That's the old one right there. Let's zoom in. You can see it just sticks out just like that. So let's go ahead, tear this down some more, and replace that sensor. Alright, so it looks like there's 3 nuts holding this down. One here, and one there. So let's go ahead and take that out. Of course, I'm trying to tighten it when I should be loosening it. Yeah. Genius move on my part, of course. Back here, if you're looking, you have one nut there, one that was here in this nasty stuff, and the other one right there. So remove those 3 nuts, and then we should be able to take this little housing off. So now we should be able to just pull up and take this out. So we can see there's a layer of foam there and some nastiness here and some dirt there. Now, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, I'm a little OCD when it comes to cleaning certain areas. So I'm gonna make sure I clean this area real nice and good before I even put this back. But right now, let's keep moving. Alright guys, so I already showed you guys where the sensor is. It goes through this little plastic piece, and then on the other end is the connector. There. Very, very tight fit. I am still going to try to figure out how to get this out right now. So, alright guys, so did a little digging around, and if you look right there, let's move the light, right here where my finger is pointing. Let's see if we can get a little light. There's a zip tie there. If I cut that zip tie, I should have more access. I should have more access to that cable for the back of that sensor. So let's go ahead, trim that zip tie up. Alright, so I use my needle nose to turn the sensor in the housing. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get it out of the housing. And it's out of the housing, but let's see if I can actually get this out. This is turning out to be quite the nightmare here. Wow, this is not fun at all. Yeah, that's not good. Kinda broke this little piece on the corner. Well, at least now we might have an access point, a better one. Well, what do you expect with 20-year-old plastics? Come on, right there. Got it. And come on. Alright. Well, it looks like our little break there, a little, bend here in the corner. Actually help us out a little bit. This is the sensor. Let's see. This is the sensor. We're going to replace it with the new one that we got from FCP Euro. Let's go ahead and grab the new one and plug it in. So, as you can see here, this is the old sensor, and this, focus, there we go, is the new one. The new one is much shorter than the old one. Let's see if that actually makes it easier to put in, maybe. Alright guys, I have a little bit of an idea, and that involves using some zip ties. Let's see if this idea works. So it's next to impossible to try to get this sensor back in and then have to turn it. So if it's supposed to go in this way and turn. So I'm gonna put a zip tie right over here. Let's see if this works. If not, then back to the drawing board. So zip tie is gonna go right here. Just put it this way. Because if we can get it through, now I have some way to hold on to it. My plan is to put it this way, stick it in, and then turn. Let's see if that works. Oh, there we go. Let me show you guys right now real quick before I pull it all the way through. So, got the zip tie here, right? And now if you look here, we have the tip poking out. So I'm turning the zip tie and you can see it's just slowly poking through. I think we got it. Let's take a look. All right, let's look at it. So that's the new sensor in, and you can see it's through and it's turned. I'm gonna make sure that this is actually working, our AC is working, and we'll scan the car again. So I didn't measure this before, but right here is the outside air temperature in the front bumper, which is about 30 degrees Celsius, which is roughly about 90 Fahrenheit. And now if we look over here, air intake temp in the housing, that one's saying 33 degrees Celsius, so pretty close to, it's pretty close to what's actually outside in the front bumper. I should have taken this before, but as we know, we had a fault for this sensor. So now we don't have the fault, but we can actually see these two temperatures are pretty close to where they should be. So if I turn the air on now, it should be pretty cold. So let's go ahead and turn the air on. So I am convinced and more than happy now that that sensor that we replaced fixed the issue. So now, time to clean, time to shut it off, and time to sweat, because this garage is now hot and I'm gonna sweat a little bit. So want to clean it up before I start putting it back together completely. Alright, way better, so a lot more of an improvement than what it was, but I'm gonna have to do something there. A little bit of surface rust, a little bubbling. Let me show you guys. So it's looking way better, but you can see this, not too happy about that. But it's much cleaner, and if you guys have any recommendations on what I can do to stop that, and a little bubbling under here under the paint as well, you guys can see there. Yeah, it's obviously seen better days, but for a 20-year-old car, what can I say? She is all back together. Engine bay is a little dirty. Gotta clean it up a little bit. But everything's back in. And the AC works pretty good. Alright guys, so a couple of things. If you're going to do this, it's almost impossible to get it from underneath the dash. I tried. I actually still have to go and put everything back together. So if you want to try, go for it. I'll tell you right now, it's extremely difficult and you're going in blind. It's not easy, but I think putting it back in was definitely easier than taking it out. The zip tie, having the zip tie on there, I think helped out tremendously. It's crazy how much that actually worked. I didn't think it was going to work. It actually worked. But we got it in, plugged it up, AC ran, it works perfectly fine. It's reading the correct temperature outside, no more fault code for that. So, with all that being said, I'm John. This is Olocos Garage, and if you like seeing more S4 content, maybe some Mini, maybe some GTI, make sure you subscribe. And if you like this video, hit that like button as well. Thanks for watching. Take care.